Hi, my name's Cheyenne and welcome back to one of my, well, this one is not a nail art tutorial. So I haven't shown my face yet on my YouTube channel. This is the grand reveal. Since I'm not doing any nail art today, I figured I'd change things up a little bit, but today I wanted to show you my top 10 favorite nail polishes. And this includes stuff from the past few years I've gotten, but also is updated to show what I collected this year as well. I posted something similar on my Instagram last year, but yeah, now is the time.
So the first polish I'm going to show you today is Colors Canis. It is by far my favorite green. I actually really love green nail polish, but once I got this one, I just knew that it was going to be my favorite for a good long while, and this was also on my 2022 favorites list that I posted on Instagram, which you could check out on my Instagram as well. But for the fact that this one is still a favorite after a year, I think really says something. One of the reasons that this one is in my top favorites is not only because of its beautiful golden warm undertones, but because it's also super opaque. Just in one coat, I feel like it is pretty sufficient, but I do add on a second coat just because I don't really like having just one coat on at a given time. I feel like that chips easier. But as you can see, this is super magnetic too. It really pulls the pigment fairly well, and I just wish Cirque could push out a collection of this same formula in sort of tone in a full rainbow. I used this on one of my recent Christmas nail art tutorials, so I'll put a link to that here. Next up, we have Great Lakes Lacquer's Amy, and this shade is so beautiful. I have been looking for a dupe for a polish that I found when I was a kid with a pale blue to green shimmer, and this is almost perfect. So right now, this is one of my favorites. It is pretty even coverage. I know it's looking a little patchy here, but I think that maybe my base coat, which I was using a peel-off base coat, wasn't completely dry, so it did make it look a little bit wonky, but it did self-level pretty quickly. I like wearing this polish in one coat because I just think it makes your bare nail have a little something special to it. You can reach full opacity in 2 coats, but you could layer on a 3rd coat if you want the color to be even deeper, but I didn't do that here. I think this color is just so pretty and special. I'm not sure if Great Lakes Lacquer's team is going to try to re-release this again, but I hope they do so other people get to enjoy it. I didn't plan this manicure out to have my polishes ordered from least to most favorite. I was just kind of grouping them by what colors would look nice to each other in a Skittle manicure. This color is called Call Like the Wind, and it actually might be my favorite out of all these. Seeing it compared against the other polishes I had really made me appreciate just how special this one is. I love its berry undertones, and it has the same blue to green shimmers as Amy, but it is just so pretty, and it's unfortunate that this one is a highly limited edition polish from Great Lakes Lacquer. This was something that I bought from PPU, and I hope that maybe they could bring it back for one of the return months that they do. I think it's in July where they bring back people's favorite shades. I want to use this polish more often because it's just so beautiful, but then I don't want to waste it. So I'm kind of at war with myself on how I should use it. Maybe I just wear it for special occasions or something, I don't know. But if anyone has a similar polish, feel free to drop a comment and let me know where I should check out some others that are just like this so I can maybe get a backup. Again, I found that Great Lakes polishes evened out pretty easily, and you couldn't really see a ton of brush strokes after it had a chance to level out. And I think in one coat it's really pretty, but I think 2 coats is the best. And again, you could probably deepen this by adding a 3rd coat if you wanted to. The next polish I have to show you is Dress to the Canines, which is this beautiful oxblood jelly with a magenta flash reactive glitter in it. I do think it is a little hard to see this glitter on the nail. It could just be that I didn't shake the bottle enough, but I think this color is just so pretty. I love how buildable this is. I feel like each layer, it just makes the polish look really different. I did do 2 coats of this one, even though I was pretty happy with just 1 coat, just because I wanted to show you guys the full depth of what this polish could look like. Plus, this is my finger that has a layered nail, so I just wanted to just disguise it a little bit more because it has a ton of ridges. I normally use a smoothing base coat, but for all of these swatches, I did use a peel-off base coat. I also topped all of these polishes off with a clear quick dry top coat from KB Shimmer. I know some people don't like using peel-off base coats because they don't feel like it lasts for very long. I'm using Holo Tacos here, and it lasted me about 2 to 3 days for most of my nails. I think because I did a thinner layer of my peel-off base coat, I think it lasted longer, and I think wrapping the tip with the polish and the top coat helps make it last longer as well if you're worried about longevity. Anyways, Dress to the Canine does dry down a little bit textured because of that flash reactive glitter that's in it, but adding a top coat should smooth everything back out. Since this is a jelly polish, I am planning on showing off how you can layer nail art in between jelly layers. I know a lot of people usually layer glitters between jelly layers, but I kind of, like to do nail art, so that's what I'm gonna do. You might have noticed that I also topped this nail polish off with a gold flaky. I thought that out of all of my polishes, this one would look the best with Cirque's Sunkist. This is my favorite topper, so I just wanted to add this to this review as well. This one is still available on Cirque's website. I know a lot of companies have been pushing out these real gold flaky top coats with like 14 karat or 24 karat gold, and it just seems a little silly to me to have real gold on your nails because it's just gonna come off and be trash. I rather save my money and put it towards other polishes, and Sunkist is significantly cheaper than those real gold toppers, so I highly suggest that you check this one out if you're in the market for a gold top coat. Next, I'm going to be showing you Red Panda's Mr. Dark. This is also a limited edition polish that I picked up from Polish Pickup this year, and it is just so pretty, and it makes me want to get more reflective polishes. I feel like sometimes it's hard to find a good reflective polish because some of them are kind of grayed out with all of these silver glitters that are in them, and sometimes they're not finely milled enough, or sometimes there's not enough glitter. So this one just seems absolutely perfect. When I saw this one online, I thought it was actually a multi-chrome, and I think it's not. I think the blue shimmer that runs through it makes it look like a multi-chrome because it just gives it some more shiftiness. I really love multi-chromes that are this shade of blue. I just think it's a classic and very almost neutral in my mind. I know it's not a neutral, but I feel like it's neutral because it's just a classic deep blue shade. In one coat, this one is a bit patchy, so I highly recommend doing a second coat, and that should probably be sufficient. Just like Dress of the Canines, this one is going to dry down a bit textured, so you are going to want to add a glossy top coat over it to just even it out. This polish is so beautiful, it looks like the night sky. And here's some clips of when I thought the flash reactive glitter was the most apparent and just so stunning. Next, I'll be showing you Sassy SES Irish, You Were Here. This polish did inspire me to place my first polish pickup order, which is a once a month market that opens up that has limited edition polishes from a bunch of indie makers. I'll probably make a video about that event more on another time, but I was just drawn in by how this polish has this beautiful blue shimmer in it with these beautiful blue glass flakies in it, and I love the base color of this being a beautiful purple, but it also shifts into this icy blue, which I think also again helps highlight those blue shimmers and flakies that are inside of it. This is currently my favorite thermal polish in my collection. I don't have a ton, and that's because they do tend to expire, where they'll lose their transitional properties after, from what I've heard, a year. This one I've had for maybe 8 months now, and it's still holding up strong. It still shifts pretty easily. I've heard other people recommend that you should only buy a thermal polish if you like both of the color states that it's in, because when it does die out, you're going to be stuck with one of those colors or a shade in between. And I like both of these colors, so I will not be upset when this polish does lose its ability to transition between the icy blue and purple. So in one coat, this polish is fine. I highly recommend doing 2 coats. You can add a 3rd coat and it will just make the color much deeper, and I think it's also very pretty that way too. I used this nail polish in a recent nail art tutorial, so I will put a link to that here. This is the cold state, and now this is the warm state of this polish. I think I might have labeled it wrong in a previous video. Next, I'm going to be showing you a common favorite. I think a lot of people love this polish. This is Fairy Dust from Island P. It's a purple holographic with a shifty orange shimmer in it. I feel like a lot of nail polish brands this year have come out with some sort of variation of a purple to orange polish, but I think this one is pretty fun just because it has that holographic pigment in it. I have a few polishes that are similar to this one, and I'm telling myself that this is my fancy purple to orange polish just because it has those holographic flakes in it, so I'll be definitely using this one for my fancier occasions. While sometimes I do like to wear my polishes a little bit more on the sheer side, this one I just wasn't vibing with it on how it was showing the nail line. I think with the orange shimmer, it kind of makes me think that the nail looks a little dirty or something, so I definitely recommend doing 2 to 3 coats with this, depending on the length of your nail. Even though in one coat it was maybe a little bit more sheer than I would have liked, I would say it was pretty even coverage. And that was pretty common across all these polishes that I picked out. I want to say most of these were pretty easy to apply and weren't really patchy and leveled out pretty easily. Just what I would expect out of my favorites. So as you can see here, this polish is super sparkly and shimmery. This whole hand ended up becoming a super ethereal and shimmery mix. I'm not mad about that. Next polish I have here is another Great Lakes lacquer polish called You Want Pigeon Milk in that. I've had a really hard time trying to figure out what this base color is because in some lightings it looks like a muted gray, other times it looks like a muted brown, other times it looks like a muted blue. It does have this beautiful orange shimmer that runs through it. This is definitely more of a classy color where you could get away wearing it in a work setting, but it still has a little something fun in it. I think this polish looks fine in one coat, but I did add 2 coats here. It is completely opaque in 2 coats. I recently used this polish in one of my other nail art tutorials on how to create a fairy look design on your nails, so I will add a link to that here as well. Lots of links to add for this video. So as you can see here, this polish is super shifty and shiny, just like the rest of these. I definitely need to get some more Great Lakes lacquer polishes in the next year. Next we have Criss Sashik, and it is such a pretty pink with a blue shimmer in it and little holographic glitters in it. As you might have noticed, I really love blue shimmer polishes. So this polish I think looks good enough in just one coat. I think it is such a cute and gummy looking color. It looks so squishy like a gummy bear, and I did want to show you how by adding more layers it could look really pretty and add a lot of depth. This color does get deeper the more layers you add. Personally, I think it looks best in 2 coats, but I could totally see why some people might like it in 3. Cirque also has another similar color called Wild Berry West, and that one is supposed to be, again, a pink with a blue shimmer, but it's supposed to be less transparent and hide your nail line better. Now look at how glowy this polish is. It is quite a stunner. This might actually be my favorite Cirque polish. Next, I'm going to be showing you Bluebirds Read the Broom. During Halloween, they rebrand themselves to be Boo Bird, to be punny. And this polish is really hard to describe because there's a ton of different colors going on inside of it. I guess at a faraway glance, you could call this maybe a more golden color, but I see some blue in it, I see some pink in it, I see some yellow in it, I see some orange in it. It is quite shifty, and I think at extreme angles you can see some green. Normally I don't like polishes that have particle sizes this big, but I think it really works here. I think the particle size helps highlight the shiftiness that they have going on. Again, because of the warm tones in this polish, I personally think this looks better in more than 1 coat. Probably 2 coats is best. I really had a hard time picking my 10th favorite color. I kind of went back and forth on it for a while, and I settled on this one. It was especially hard to pick my favorites out of the bluebird polishes. I tried to pull a clip here that shows that green shimmer at extreme angles. It's just so pretty. Anyways, so this is my top 10 favorite polishes from 2023, or at least that I have in my collection from 2023. Normally I do nail art tutorials, so please come back and join for some of those. I try to put out new videos every Saturday, but you should probably subscribe just so you could be up to date with whenever I post something. So far I've been mainly posting nail art tutorials, but I am planning to post some more videos next year that kind of talk about nail care. Feel free to drop me a comment if you have any questions or ideas on what you'd like to see more of. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!